All right, welcome back to the channel. It is a warm Sunday morning and I've started on the roof system. You see, I've got some sheet goods out here and some of the 2-inch foam, and I'll show you what I got started on this morning. I got started this morning by laying out 2 inches of foam up there. And of course I haven't got to the top yet. It's going to come to the edge like it is. It's all going to get taped here, blah blah blah. And then I put on a row of the zip system, and this is really just to hold the foam down and to give me a good layer to add the rafters on. And then I snapped a chalk line here, and this 2x4, which is getting screwed in with 6-inch screws into all of the meat down in here. This will have a layout for the rafters on it, and the rafters, since there's no flat place for them to land on, I'm decided to add this, and we'll notch the rafters right over this. They'll get nailed into it, and then there'll be a blocking between each rafter, which will get nailed into here and everything else. I'm not sure if the building inspector is still going to require me to put hurricane straps on, but if he does, I'll just do that. So that's what this ledger is, which is going to get screwed to death all the way down, because this is what's going to hold the roof onto the building, especially when we get strong winds trying to rip this off. This is the main thing that's going to hold everything down. Of course, the rafters are going to go up and by, and the other ones on the other side are going to be on a layout on the other side of the line. They'll come past each other, and I'm debating whether to either just nail them together with 20s or put a bolt through them. But either way, I'm trying to take all the precautions I can. So we've got the overhang here is in 2 inches out. So when I add 2 inches of foam on here, it'll come up to this level. And I think I'm going to put all the rafters on and then cut all the tails at once. I'm going to snap a line and get them instead of trying to cut them ahead of time. So that's what's happening. It's getting really warm out, so I'll probably just film stuff that goes along the way, but I'm going to continue this, do a layout, get up on the roof, and keep going up. Oh, well, I forgot to mention something. The foam layer is the thermal break. It is going to be continuous, as you can see. It'll be continuous layer up and over the top of the roof, and so that we don't have any thermal bridging between the inside and the outside. That's what that mainly is, and it adds another R10 to the roof. So it's doing 2 functions at once. All right, there's another 2 layers on the wedding cake. Foam and the zip system to hold it down in place. So let's see, there's there are 4 layers on here. We've got rafters, another layer of zip, tar paper layer, and then the roofing. So we're 4 layers through the 8 layers of roofing. I tried to get rid of layers to make it simpler. I couldn't figure out how to do it. Every layer serves a purpose. So it's cooking out here. I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to tape this layer, and then I'm going to go start working on rafters. As usual, it's been hot, and it's been go, 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 and not much filming of anything. But here's what I got done. This side is ready for the framing inspection. Kristen's like, why don't we just insulate it and sheathe it? Well, I'd love to, but the way this is being built is I can't do that because the building inspector will want to take a look at this. So we got it all in. You can see this complete ledger is screwed into that 8x8 top plate with what are these 7.5 inch screws every 16 inches. We got hurricane straps. This blocking is nailed into this and into the rafters, and I just don't see it coming off. I also added these blocks here, and these are because of this metal roofing that we're putting on. The bottom edge folds under the drip edge. It's really relying on the drip edge not to lift up. So I wish I had done this on the house, but this way I'll be able to put a lot more fastenings in the drip edge to hold it in place, and then I'll be more confident that the wind won't be able to lift that whole thing right up off the off the roof. Maybe it's way overkill, but it's pretty easy to do now. So that's what I've done. And after I take a break, I'm going to move all the staging over onto the other side and get that side to this point as well. So just an absolute ton of work. And yesterday when I was out here, it was just hot and humid and brutal. I still don't know what's going to happen down in here. This is all going to get covered up somehow, but that's something I can deal with at a later date. Anyways, that's what we got. So once we get the insulation inside, the plywood on top, and the fascias on here, it'll be ready for roofing. Finally, we're getting to the top of the wedding cake layers. All right, here I am putting the 2-inch layer of foam on. I'm gonna get that piece in there, and then I gotta chalk a line, so I'll have a straight line to put the next layer of zip on top of there. All right, here's your update. I'm working my way up the roof. I got the ledger screwed in, and I got the first full row of zip up there. I got to go screw it off and finish the last row of foam around the chimney opening. Hopefully I'll get this layer of zip done and taped off today, so that tomorrow I can actually start on rafters, which are there, and nothing's been done to them. So all right, I've been at it for 3 hours this morning. That's what I got done. I think I'll be able to, the rest is easy now. I had to mess around with the chimney opening. Here, let me take you up there. You can take a look at it. It's just shallow enough you can walk on this. So these I'm going to nail these together, and I think I may come back. You can see I got this one done. I may come back and either bolt these together, or I've got a bunch of 20-penny galvanized spikes. I may put a few from either side and bend them over, and that'll be awesome. It'll be fine. So I got the chimney opening all set. I used a plumb bob, make sure we got plenty of clearance all the way around. And then I said, shoot, I might as well just finish this end and work towards the other end of the building, which gets easier and easier. And I got some spray foam I'm gonna spray in here to seal this all up, because it's just so hard to get that perfect. So we're gonna seal that up with spray foam. All right, all of the rafters are in place. They're all nailed off. I'm gonna take a break. Next step is to trim the ends. I'm gonna snap a line and trim all these ends, and I got to go through here and check. Some of these are high. I got to power plane those down. There's one up there that's high, and put on these hurricane straps, but I don't have nails. I got to do that tomorrow. I am going to go call the building inspector though, since all the framing is done, except for trimming the ends. I don't think he cares about that. And we have the guy that may come and polish the concrete floor today. He may come today. I called the mason today, so I'm on his list too. So progress. All right, I'm gonna go take a break. Well, good morning. It's a beautiful day. We've had unbelievable weather. It's not too humid and not too hot. And I thought this morning what I would do is get the insulation in the roof cavities. It took me exactly an hour since I started the tractor and lifted it up there. Unbelievable. The easiest insulating job I've ever done. So it's now an R40, which is in this area where required code is R30 for ceilings or roofs. So I'm gonna take a quick break since I just stopped, and I'm gonna get set up to put the last layer of plywood on it will be the final roof deck on the structure. We'll get this side done today. I'm not gonna cut the chimney opening out. I'm just gonna mark it. And when the masons get here, I'll go up on the roof and cut it out. There is the last roof deck. On top of that goes the metal roofing. There's going to be some paper stapled down. And then there will be, the metal roofing will go on top of that. All right, I've got a question for all you viewers. See the white pipe on the top of the house? And then the white pipe down at the bottom end of the septic field? So those are all connected underground through the drain line, through the septic tank, which is right here, through all the vent system in the house, and comes out up top. And it's designed that way so that we get some airflow through there, so the bacteria in the septic tank are aerobic bacteria, not anaerobic, and they'll decompose the stuff in the septic tank better. But the system seems to be working really well, except on a windy day like today, or when people are taking a lot of showers or doing a lot of laundry and the system is really flowing. We get a lot of stink that curls around the house, and you get that awful stinky smell down here. And I don't have any solution to it. I don't want to plug up the system because it's working. So if you guys have any suggestions, I'm all ears and not any no's. All right, there you have it. Give me some suggestions to cure my stink. Well, Kristen and I just took a road trip to Massachusetts, and we came back with something extremely heavy. I just bought an old Delta Rockwell 18-inch planer, and it weighs an absolute ton. We were very lucky to I brought planks. Thank goodness I brought planks. And guy helped me roll it on. I can't even imagine what it weighs. I didn't pay very much for it, and that's why I ended up buying it. Right now, for my entire career, I've had just a 12-inch Powermatic planer. I put a Helix carbide head cutter on it, which is really nice, but I've always been limited to 12 inches. And I didn't want to spend, I don't know, couple $1,000, $3,000 or whatever it cost for a bigger planer, something big and heavy. So I kind of been looking, and this one came up on Marketplace. It's got a 5 horsepower motor. The parts all the parts seem to work. I wasn't able to actually try it, but I didn't actually pay much for it. So if something was to go really wrong, I could probably get my money back and scrap. But it's so heavily built, I don't think there's any problems with it. It just needs to be completely torn apart, cleaned, greased and oiled, and then an electrical cord hooked up to it. So anyway, it's going to sit in the truck for tonight. I was just glad it didn't tip over on the way home, because we would have been screwed, because there would be no way to stand it back up. And I think I'm actually going to take it out with the excavator tomorrow. All right, forgot to film some, but got it in here with the tractor. It lifted it, no big deal. But we never even noticed it, but the base of the planer is way smaller than the frame that was made up for it. And it was not being supported very well. I don't know how it even stayed on there. So I threw on some 1-inch ash, even out the pressure. And so we're going to pick it up again and set it on here. Makes it taller, even taller than it is right now, but you know, that's just what it is. All right. All right, there we go. It actually rolls around really nicely. So I decided on this planer because it was cheap. I didn't pay much for it. It's the next size up kind of from what I already have. I mean, they make planers twice this big, but I wouldn't be able to roll them around. They take 3-phase power, and this is a big step up. So that's it for this little bit of video. I hope it's worth it. I got another project. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. It's that quick. This is the same sprayer airless sprayer that I used to paint the house siding. And I'll show you what I've gotten done in an hour. I got all this, and a little pile over there. And I'm almost done. It's probably, I don't know, another 15 minutes or so, and I'll be done. And then I just got to clean it out. But it just saved me, I don't know how many hours, taken hours to roll this on and then hit it with a paintbrush. And I think it's going to be just fine. Here's a picture of what the outside looks like. So you can see that it's been bumped out 2 inches. So there'll be foam. Got to tape the corner, of course. There'll be foam around here, which would come out to this level. And then there'll be strapping. And then the siding will go up to the windows. Ignore this. And we'll go under this drip edge here. This is the only thing that was bent on the big windows. I'm gonna have to take a block of wood and try to bend that down. But they basically match the house, which is no trim on them. And that's what we were going for. So I still have got to tape all of these. So there's still a bunch more work. And then, but I'm going to work on that and also start working on the fascia. I got all the boards out. I got to, they've all got to get stained charcoal black like the house, and then start that awful process of installing them. All right, I got all of the roof trim up there. I've got to touch up some stuff with some stain. I decided not to do any of the roof trim here until I get the metal, because that's gonna, the heights of that are dependent on putting the, so there's foam on there and another layer of zip, and I want to make sure I get that band at the right height. So I'm gonna wait on that. But I got all the trim up there. That's a job that I absolutely don't look forward to, but it's done. On to the next thing. So let's see here. I've been taping with this flashing tape around all of the windows. Just adds another layer, barrier of wind and water infiltration. And I bought the roll of this stretchy tape, and I'm using that on the corners, and it works pretty good. I've never used it before. It wraps around the corners, seals them up nicely, and then cover it all up with the zip tape. And this wall is almost ready for insulation. Well, they predicted it might rain today. First day in weeks. I just looked at the radar. It looks like it's all disappearing before it gets here. I covered up the piles, hoping that we might get rain. So I've gotten started on all of the siding prep on this wall. As you can see, I installed a ledger at the bottom, and I got the foam all done on this wall, and I started on the batten strips, and then we're ready for siding. Finally, there's so many steps to this building, but I think it's if our house proves a point that the more insulation the better, this will all be worth it. I know it will be worth it. So All right, I've got started on the siding, and oh, what a pain in the neck. Even after all the prep work and all the prepping of all the siding, it's still just an awful job. The goal today is to get this whole side done. You can see what it looks like. So the strapping makes the siding off the wall a little bit, so that air gap is good. Hopefully there's no water draining into that, but having an air gap in there is a good thing. I jointed these and ripped them all parallel, and they're still, I did everything I could, and they're still not completely right, but lots of little pieces, and it is absolutely testing my patience. And everything is in the way, or it's in the wrong place, or you've left it behind you, or anyway, can you see the struggle? So I've got all day to struggle. Yippee! All right, I'll show you at the end of the day if I'm still alive. All right, I got that wall done. I wasn't gonna let it beat me. It almost did. Pretty frustrating this morning. Oh, fitting around those windows. They're not perfect. Don't look too close. But from coming up the driveway, it looks fabulous. So, yeah. Tomorrow, that side's done. Tomorrow, I start on this side here, the gable end. I don't think I have enough wood to do it, but I'm going to just do as much as I can. And that's all I can do. So, tomorrow is wall number 2. All right, it's taken me 2/3 of the day. I had to go get foam and then tape all the windows off, foam it, and then get the strapping in place. You think, oh, that won't take just a couple hours. And, I think it's 2 o'clock. I think I'm gonna get started on a few boards. We'll see how far I get. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, which is awesome because we're in a deficit. But anyways, it's just a slow slog. Now the awful part comes of cutting and fitting. All right, there's your update. Well, it's the end of the day. I can't believe it. I managed to get the lower half of this done. So that is unbelievable. Tomorrow I'm going to set staging up and work on the upper section. And the upper section, just like the garage, will overlap that. We'll have a line that runs across. Well, I got a late start this morning. It's Saturday. But I did get all the styrofoam up there and the soffits made, stained, and installed. And the next step is to run some strapping. And then I'm going to actually start in the middle. I'm going to start in the middle and work out from either side. So I went down to the shop this morning and I took a piece of siding and I remilled it so it's got an edge on both sides, so I can start from here and work out on either edge. But I'm going to go take a break. My goal was to get this done by tomorrow, so I think that's possible. All of this prep work, once I get the strapping up, it should go pretty quickly. All right, got all the strapping in. First row of strapping is actually 1.5 inches because the siding actually has to come out and over the lower piece, so it goes 1.5 to 1 inch, and where it overlaps is 2 inches, so it's kind of make a transition. Something you'll actually never see. It just gives me better nailing. And so that's the center one, and now I can start working to the left and the right, and shouldn't take long to fill that up, and that'll be done for the gable end for now. It's going to be excuse me, it's going to be nearly 100 degrees today, and they're showing up to start grinding our floor. So the whole building is empty. They got their generator outside. and a trailer full of tools. So this is going to be interesting to see what's under the concrete. The plan is to grind off the top down to so we see the aggregate, and then get it polished. And while they're working on that, I've got to get ready to put some windows in. So this is day 2 of grinding the floor, and he's gotten down to the aggregate, which is what the look we're looking for. Still has to grind the edges. Maybe that's a tomorrow job, but it's looking pretty good. It is a slow process and a lot of noise, but I think it'll be worth it. I think it'll look really spectacular once he gets it all done. It is Saturday, and the guy's got one more day. He says one more day to get the floor all polished. It's all ground down. Now he's going to polish the floor. I think it looks amazing. And then at that point, we can, when he's done on Tuesday, I can put these doors in, and that one in, take that all out. We did get the windows installed. Took about, there's a ton of prep work. I'll take you outside and look at that, but they're all in except for those 2, which were broken. We got them unwrapped and they were broken, so yeah, I'm taking those back. Actually, they're ordering 2 new ones for us. You can see what's going on here. It was just a ton of prep work for this. These are all padded out for, this is 2 inches, so there's 2 inches of foam, which will bring us up to that level. And then there's 1 inch strapping over that, and that will bring us up to this level. And the strapping gets screwed into the studs. And then that gives us out to this level, which then the shiplap siding goes on. It goes under this lip. So that's exactly what we have on the house. So today's job is to spray foam the inside and tape around all of the windows. And yeah, it's Saturday, so I'm going to work at half speed. Yep. All right, they finished the floor yesterday. Last night we put that door in, which we just purchased. We don't have a lock set for it yet. And took was normally the back door and moved it over here. Floor is all polished. It looks amazing. The other day we got the windows in. It was really hot. Didn't film anything. My friend Tillman came up and Kristen and Tillman and I spent an hour and a half or 2 hours, put all the windows in. They're all foamed in place. This is really the first day we get to see the sun shining in on our new floor. And all kinds of interesting colors. We had a smaller aggregate poured in the floor. And it's got wonderful browns and tans and blacks. And there's some whites in here. And the reflection is amazing. And I didn't really know what we were going to get into. I'd never done this before. And I think it was worth the money. Yesterday I installed the gable end inside wall finish, which is just shiplap. So we painted it the other day, and I had time yesterday, and I got this wall installed. It's all echoey in here, And I think I have enough to do the part of this wall. So the real goal was to get this wall done before the masons came, because I didn't want to have to do it behind the chimney. So we're in really good shape. The roof's ready for them. The outside of this wall's done, so they can put staging out there, and the inside's done. So they should be here in about a week, and maybe we'll get a chimney before winter. Well, this is the end of this video, and I have no idea how much footage I have. It's probably really long, but if you made it this far, thanks for watching. As you can see, I got this end done. It's not completely done. I've got the I got to close up those pieces, but and I got a wire out here for outside outlet. I'm not sure if I talked about this before. This is the granite that goes around top of the chimney as a band. And we found a chimney cap. So we're in pretty good shape for the masons. So anyway, there you go. I'm going to try my best to film more this time for the next video. You just got the updates along the way. All right. Thanks again for watching.